Hey, what's up? It's Jason. I am back again with another video and another dive deep into a past year revisit of sorts. Back to 2008 this time. I'm doing a revisit of my favorite picks from 2008. Gonna do a whole series like this, revisiting some years gone by in the music collection, and I've divided them up between albums and singles. So this is the albums version of 2008. It's a little bit of a mixed bag as always. You can expect here some metal, a lot of metal, some thrash, and some more avant-garde picks as well. But before I get into the top 10 that I'm going to show today, which is a lot of CDs actually, and only two records out of the top 10, two albums I want to get out of the way before I get into the official top 10 are these ones. One being by the band or the artist Shed. This is Shedding the Past, which is a great play on words for title of the album. I am a huge fan of electronic and techno music, as you guys know, and this is sort of in the deep techno category on the label Oscitan, which was the record label of the Berghain Super Club, Underground Club of Berlin. I think they've discontinued the record label actually at this point. And I do have some Shed singles, but for some reason this album didn't quite make the cut in my top 10 today. Just couldn't really put my finger on a specific track or set of tracks that I wanted to listen to again. So it falls out of the top 10. And also falling out of the top 10 is this band, which some of you guys must know. I'm a little bit newer to the band Evil, out of the UK. Sorry again, I'm getting loads of glare today from CD cases, but this album on Earache came out in 2008, obviously. Infected Nations is the name of the album. That's okay, pretty good UK thrash, but I've never been a huge fan. I'm not a big fan of the vocals. They sound a little bit too close to James Hetfield Metallica for my taste. It's very Metallica-esque, I find. So that one didn't make the cut. Now, let's get into the top 10. Here it is for 2008, and it's going to start off with some electronic music this time, and drone. This is a split, in a way, or a collabo rather than a split. This is Aiden Baker and Tim Hecker. Aiden Baker is very well known. Also Tim, I suppose, too, at this point. But Aiden Baker has a massive discography. This guy is definitely voluminous, I guess, with his releases. Lots of albums over the years. I couldn't even listen to all of them, I don't think, but they are all really great. He also does that project Nadja, which is sort of ambient as well. A lot of them are very ambient. Drone. I think he plays guitar on this piece anyway, along with electronics by Tim Hecker, another Canadian abstract avant-garde performer. Fun fact about Tim Hecker: he and I both went to we're in the same university program back in the late '90s in Montreal, studying public policy of all things. And yeah, Tim, he was always very quick to get into the new sort of digital soundscape and digital electronic music recording. He also went by the name Jet Tone for a little while, and we even DJ'd a couple of events, I think, together. But yeah, Tim Hecker and Aiden Baker. This is a great album. It's called Phantasms. Phantasma Parasitaceae, and it's on the Alienate label out of Montreal as well. So that debuts the top 10 for 2008. So next up, one of only two vinyl that I'm going to show in this top 10 for 2008. Not exactly sure why that is, but just heavier on the CDs, especially when we get into a lot of the metal territory. But next up is a classic punk band, one of the legends of hardcore punk in Canada and the world, the mighty DOA. Yeah, DOA, man, they are still going. I actually saw them live last year for the first time for me. I never had seen them over the many, many years that they perform. And this album came out in 2008. Northern Avengers, pretty fun record. Kind of a little bit very much on the accessible sort of pop punk kind of wave, almost getting into like hard rock. This is actually produced by Bob Rock, pretty famous rock producer of Canada. So yeah, DOA still kicking it. This record's a lot of fun. I especially love the opening track, The Human Bomb. Donnybrook is pretty good. What else on this one? Track 9, I guess, which was Set Them Free, I think, on side B. But yeah, fun, no nonsense, bit of pop punk. Poor Poor Boy is kind of their attempt at some ska, I think, on here too. So it's always a little bit of variety of some styles. Not the best DOA album. Not even amongst their later stuff. I think there's better ones out there, but this was a pretty fun pickup. So that made my number 9 out of 10 for 2008 albums, and I'm going to go right into some more punk as well after that, with a band that's a little bit more obscure to me. I'm not sure how I even got this album. Seems kind of random. I think it was a random Discogs pickup, maybe. It's a band out of Texas called Total Abuse, and a really kick-ass hardcore CD. Um, don't always get a lot of hardcore punk on CD, but and I wouldn't mind picking this up on vinyl actually if I see it somewhere. It's on Deranged Records, and it's got a shit ton of tracks, 27 tracks. Goes by really fast, short songs, etc. The band itself, Total Abuse, formed in 2006, and this is kind of their debut album, I think. Maybe there was a demo or something before, but this is the debut full length. Available on LP as well as CD, but I've only ever seen the CD. Yeah, it's great. It's kind of like noisy hardcore punk, right up my alley and in my top 10. Now, next up, I have some legends of the thrash metal scene. I've actually got 2 albums in this top 10 by legends, thrash metal legends, that were put out in 2008. This one is a little bit unusual in that, sorry, this is a re-recording of old tracks for this band, so it's not like exactly a new studio record here, but I had to include it anyway in this top 10 because it really bangs. First of all, the debut album by this band was an absolute classic. And this is kind of a nice, I think it's like a nice update version to check out. This is Exodus, of course, I'm talking about. And they're redoing Bounded by Blood. I don't know if you need to, right? But they decided they would do it in 2008 with an album called Let There Be Blood. You got the twins again, of course, on the cover, but different set of twins. What's different? Obviously, it's 2008 era style of production. And also the vocal duties, of course, are Rob Dukes. I think actually there's only one original member maybe on this album from back in the old days. Modern production, absolutely. In other words, we also got Andy Sneap here on the mixing desk and production. Totally bangs though. I mean, we all know the love. We all know and love the old tracks, but I'm really loving, especially the versions on here of. And Then There Were None, third track on the album. Lesson in Violence, of course, Killer and Piranha too. So I had to include this in my top 10. It is a banger of an album, and cool to hear Rob Dukes do his version of these Exodus classics. So that came in at number 7. Number 6, some grindcore. It had to make its appearance in here. Makes a couple of appearances in this top 10, actually. This is a band that's pretty obscure to me. I don't know if they're even still around, necessarily. Some tech death out of California. Embryonic and Devourment. And there's an album cover for you. Pretty nuts, actually. I'm not sure what's going on in this cover. You gotta kind of look deep. It's very kind of psychedelic in a way, the color scheme. But super fun. Massively fast and insane drumming. I especially love the high pitched snare on this thing. For those that know will know immediately when you hear it. It's on every track, and I love it. It's probably one of the main reasons why it's so high up in the top 10 here. Almost like free jazz, the frenetic drumming pace on this thing. Vocals are great too, by the way. Super gnarly and death metal esque. So yeah, Killer Grind album here by Embryonic Devourment. I think it's their debut actually. Came out in 2008, and the name of the album is Fear of Reality Exceeds Fantasy. There you go. That is number 6. Number 5, we're getting in the top 5, and I'm going to go with another thrash heavyweight. A band I've seen twice now. It's kind of random how I see this band. The first time was at a Heavy MTL Outdoor Fest in 2010. So not too far off from this album, actually. They played a couple tracks, I guess, from this album at that concert, along with other classics. And I saw them again last year on a big joint tour with Creator. I think that was the concert with Creator. I'm talking about, of course, California's own Testament, and a huge album for them, actually. A return to form. In fact, I've spent a few days now watching best ofs or rankings of Testament albums just to see where this thing kind of landed. I wasn't listening to metal that much in 2008, truth be told. So all of these, most if not all of these CDs are all bought more recent years, listened to in more recent years. But yeah, this one is kick-ass. It's the Formation of Damnation album on Nuclear Blast, and a bit of a return to form for these guys after some years of dabbling into some 90s era kind of grunge death metal as well. Some cool albums like Low, and is it Demonize? Isn't it the album I think before this one? Anyway, they wait for a little bit of time. They come back with a lot of original members, if not a whole lineup of original members, and bang out this record, Formation of Damnation, which is really good top to bottom. I couldn't really pick a favorite song or favorite songs on this one because I think pretty much every song is a favorite song. They're all good. 11 tracks in total, mixed by Andy Sneap, so it does have some modern metal production for sure. But yeah, it's got Alex Skolnick back on guitar, Greg Christian back on bass, Chuck Billy, of course. I guess like I'm a little bit on the fence over Chuck Billy's vocals. Like it kind of almost gets into that James Hetfield Metallica territory. I find he sounds a little bit. Is it just me? I don't know. He sounds a bit like Metallica at times, without maybe quite the range of James. But so that's the only thing that sometimes puts me off. But about Testament, but they are killer. And this album actually was picked by Mr. Boulder, of all people, James Boulder in the VC, as his number 1 Testament album in his ranking video. So there's that to consider as well. Yeah, great album. Probably could have even went higher in this list, but it's a little bit accessible compared to some of my more underground picks that are coming after it. But really good, fun album for sure. Now, next up, speaking of obscure, I'm going over to Japan for this one. Some Japanese black metal, a band that I know nothing about. I'm not even 100% sure how I ended up coming across this band. Maybe it was through the VC. Not sure, but man, is it a good album. This is a really killer album. I could have maybe even placed this higher in the top spot. Cataplexy is the name of the band. I think I'm saying it right. Lunar Eclipse, Chaos to the Ruin is name of the album. It's not their first album by any means. They've been around, started around in the 90s, and I think they're still going. I'm not 100% sure if they're still together or not. They had something more recently, I think in 2019. This is a 2008 album. Just some great second wave style black metal, a little bit raw too, which is nice to hear. Pure black evilness, a lot of emo. Very well done in the vocals and guitars, especially drums, of course, in the background. Nicely done. My faves on here: Gonna go with Under the Moonlight of Sorrow. Number 3, now it's fourth track, Graces of an Infidel Blood is also good. Number 7, Elegy of the Rotten Angel. But I mean, honestly, all the tracks are really great on this album. It's a good album. So Cataplexy is my number 4 on the list. Some Japanese black metal right there. And we're getting down into the last few here. Number 3, I was playing in the background earlier. You wouldn't probably have heard it because it's got a lot of quiet parts. Some experimental music. As you can see, most of this top 10 was metal, but this one is an exception. Experimental, musique concrète, noises at times. Just a really cool album. This album is one of the oldest ones I have had in my collection in this top 10. And the outfit or project, I guess, is called THU 20 through 20. And it is a collaboration of 5 individuals: Joss Smulders, Peter Dumelinks, Jack Van Buzel, Frans de Waard, and Roel Milkop. I think I'm saying those right or not. Netherlands project. Name of the album is called Tilburg, I believe. Yeah, this is the Tilburg LP. It's on a label called Korm Plastics. Totally random. Netherlands Dutch experimental record. I guess it was like a live recording. It's sort of 2 slabs, one on each side. It goes in lots of interesting directions. Really cool ambient stuff. I don't know. I love this kind of stuff, and especially when it's well done and holds my interest. This one does all that, and it's something I play pretty often too. Often will grab this when I'm looking for some ambient experimental. So I decided to put it up higher in my list because it's my list, and that's how it goes. Yeah, THU 20 Tilburg, very obscure listening record. Now back to regular programming. 2 last ones that are going to be absolutely crushing, super crushing metal. One is thrash and one is grind. We're going to start off with the grind album. And one of my favorite grind bands of anywhere, but coming out of Texas, PLF. Call them Pretty Little Flowers at some point. I think the PLF stands for something else nowadays too. Yeah, this is their second album, I think. It feels a bit like a comp. It has like 1 million tracks on there, 24 tracks. And yeah, I mean, you know what you're getting. If you know grindcore, this is it. This is called Crushing Fury of Bastardization. I think they're only a 2-piece with just disgustingly insane, massively crazy metal. So yeah, grindcore out of Houston, Texas. They were formed in '99, and I've got a couple of their records on vinyl. This is the only PLF I have on CD, I think. So picked it up not long ago actually, and it's a banger, top to bottom. It's my number 2 for 2008. Finishing off things on a metal tip again for 2008 with a debut album by a band that I really love. Haven't heard a bad album by these guys yet. I guess they started out a little bit before this album. They started in 2004. This is the 2008 debut of Warbringer. Endless War, name of the album. Or War Without End, sorry. I was close. War Without End by Warbringer. Just some killer thrash, kind of leading the way. One of the bands leading the charge of the thrash revival, I think, with Toxic Holocaust and Havoc. You got to include some Warbringer in there too. Texas again? No, not Texas. Sorry, California. In this case, man, these guys were young. I don't know if you can see some of the picture there, but I think some of them were still in high school when this record came out, or just before this album came out. 5-piece, 2 guitar players, and yeah, they were still in high school touring with like Exodus and Nile, Napalm Death, Suffocation. It's all quality bangers, and as it should be, because it's my number 1 pick for 2008. Yeah, I put this above the Testament, the Exodus, Cataplexy, PLF. I'm gonna go with Warbringer. It's it bangs top to bottom. 10 tracks. Um, nothing more needs to be said. But if you're into thrash, definitely check out Warbringer. Cool album. So that is my top 10 for 2008. A nice little trip down memory lane. There were a couple of other odds and ends in my collection from that era, from that year, but it wasn't a huge year for releases. I will try to put together a list. I think I have a list here of top 10 singles from 2008 as well, which will be more techno heavy or techno leaning. And that's it for now. See you guys.